Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the live stream, day 2. Today is January 2nd. I'm just going to open the live stream on one of my devices to make sure that everything is working. Right now I don't even see the chat, so give me a few seconds to set that up. This is day 2 of this new setup that I'm doing with the laptop and my phone, so just give me a moment to work things out. All right, so you see the background, you see my face, etc. Can you hear me? And hopefully there should be less delay, less lag than yesterday. So that's something that I looked into compared to yesterday. So hopefully it should be a bit better than before. All right. So hello everyone. Say something in the chat just to let me know that you're here. And in the meantime, I'll be setting up my other filming camera so that you're actually able to see what I'm building. Hello, hi, or hey, thank you for joining. So yeah, in the meantime, while we're setting this up, how's everyone doing today? Did anyone get any Lego from the Lego store or online? There's so many amazing sets that came out just yesterday, today, depending on where you are in the world. Really great stuff. I'm still setting up my camera, by the way. No, I was not able to set it up beforehand. It's more complicated than you might think. There's things that have to be done live on the spot unless you want to pay for more expensive options. So right now I'm using a freemium software. It looks like it's not working properly. It was working yesterday. Well, if this is blocked, we're going to have a problem. I'm going to try restarting the application. Yeah, these things can always be very finicky. I wonder how the full-time streamers do it. You probably have to pay for the software and pay for someone to manage the software so that everything is always ready to go. And all the big streamers have full-time editors and things like that. This is the reason why. Okay, so basically the thing is playing ads in the background. There's nothing I can do about that, but I have to do that before I can actually use the live streaming service. And a message to members of the open source software community, like, can someone please develop a free and open source equivalent of these applications so we don't have to rely on these ad sponsored apps? Because this should be something obvious. And yeah, the way this app works is that you cannot load the ads in advance. You have to load them right before. And they do this to try to make you to pay for their service, but I'm not going to pay for something I've never even used. I want to at least try it a few times before I pay for anything. But I do think that honestly, these types of ads should always be free. Because you're not using their servers, they're not really doing anything as far as I'm aware. So yeah, in the meantime, let me see if I can show you through my laptop camera what I got, and I'll show you this again on the big screen. So we got some minifigures, got the CMFs, I got the year of the horse, gift with purchase, right here. So it's actually a 2025 set in some parts of the world, but we got it in 2026 in North America. This is the same for most of the world. I have this Ferrari right here. This very beautiful looking set. Excited to build this one as well. Looks like it has a bunch of printed pieces as well, so it's not all stickers. I have these. So if you've been following Lego for a while, you know that in here we have the Ninjago figures. I have two construction sets. First, I have this chibi Lego City loader. This is just so funny to me. It's so cute. And then I also have the slightly more serious mixer right here. So this is a cool set right there. Now the Ninjago character display. This is a pretty good set because you get all the classic Ninja. Well, for some reason, like I'm noticing now that the things can get blurry sometimes. That's really unfortunate. But it's still not real time. That's annoying. Maybe if I bring it close to my face. Yeah, so yeah, this is the Lego Ninja character display. I also got one of the Star Wars battle packs. This one here. I'm salty that they increased the price of these bad boys by another $5. They were already expensive, but now they're raising the costs even more. So I'm not too happy about that. So how are we feeling today? What Lego set do we want to build today? I saw one person commenting they wanted to see the Ferrari. I know lots of people from the Lego store, they were interested in the shopping street. I know some people are interested in the construction stuff as well. So there's lots of stuff to consider. And for the giveaway, I did not forget about the giveaway. I'm still thinking about the details, but I do see that if we get 1 million subscribers total by the end of January 2026, then I could see myself getting a Death Star for one of the subscribers. 1 million subscribers by the end of the month. That's like the top level goal. If it's less than that, then yes, there will still be a giveaway, but it will not be the Death Star. It will be something more affordable. So I'm almost done setting up like the camera on my side. Yeah, like these ads are vultures. Like every single thing has to be monetized these days. But I guess that's the world that we live in now. Yeah, back in the good old days. Let's see here. In terms of ads, we have the usual suspects. I'm not going to give them any free advertising, but it's the usual suspects here. Did that work? Okay, yes. Now we're in business. The HD is unlocked, and I'm able to stream this thing that should be free, but they're making us pay for it. Whatever. So I just have to. I just have to. Okay, so I'm going to temporarily black out my screen while I set up the camera, basically. I don't even know. Yeah, that. Let's see here. Are we active? Okay. All right, looks like we're active. So let me just turn that on so that you're able to see it. And there we go. Sorry for the delay, everyone. It just takes so long to set this up. They basically want you to buy the pro version of this app. And I guess like at some point either I'm gonna buy it or make my own version. I don't think they should be charging us for these things. But regardless, here is what we have. Here's our haul. We have all these amazing sets that we're going to be building. I'm going to build every single one of these sets without the instructions. The only question is, in what order do I do them? So I will save the collectible minifigures for later. I'm not going to build these on stream. They're not that exciting to build. There's no build here. There's just the minifigures. So these are just here to show you that I got them, and I will be sharing them on my channel through YouTube Shorts. And eventually I'll have like a tier list video of all of them. I'm leaning towards the shopping street and the vintage parade car. These are the most popular sets from what I saw at the Lego store. This is what most people are interested in. But if you want something different, if you want something else, now is the time to say in the chat that you really want something else. If a bunch of people say in the chat that they want the Ninjago set or the Ferrari, for example, then I will go with what chat says. So I'll give you a few seconds to write your message in the chat. And I did not create a poll because for a poll you can only have 4 items, and there's more than 4 sets here. There's no easy way to do that in a poll. Okay, I'll just put this down while I open the chat somewhere else. Now I'm looking at the chat. So go on with your recommendations. I don't see anything yet. In the meantime, I'll start to put the stuff away, and I'll show it to you again very quickly. So these are the Ninjago Build-A-Minifigure. If you're close to a LEGO store, go get these before they run out. So some of these are limited edition, and already on day 1 in my location, people are stocking up the rare and desirable minifigures. I'll talk more about those in a separate video or a separate stream. Here's a better look at the Ferrari. And here's the set number. You can look it up if you're interested. Here's the year of the horse gift with purchase. Now let me know if you do want to see a build and review of this set. I think it's pretty simplistic. What you see is what you get here, but it is collectible because it's part of a series. A lot of people, they collect these, and it's good to have for your personal collection. Or some people, they buy lots of Lego, then they resell these to get some of their money back. They'll probably sell it for like $10, $15, something like that. This is the Vintage Parade car. I do plan on starting with this, so I'll just set it to the side. This is the Lego City Loader with a baby figure instead of a minifigure. So, a cute little thing. Cement mixer. And yeah, I'm showing these very quickly as I'm putting them away. I have to move the boxes anyway, that's why I'm showing them to you again. Ninja character display. Lots of Ninja right here. Pretty reasonable price. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, but still you get all these characters. That's pretty cool. Like it's not too bad. Like I think it's 40 or 45 US, 55 or 60, 65 Canadian. I forgot the exact price, but somewhere in that range. You get 8 minifigures. This on the other hand, $30 Canadian for just 4 minifigures. A bit much. These used to be like $15 Canadian. Way back. The good old days. This is the Dreams the Tiger Shark tank. I bought this set because I really want to support this theme. I think I looked at this set briefly. I didn't look at it too much, but I liked what I saw. It has some really cool minifigures as well. And I do want to support this theme. I think LEGO Dreams has done really cool things for the world of LEGO overall. The LEGO lore is reliant on Dreams a lot. And LEGO Dreams gave us lots of good things like classic space astronauts in various colors that we would not have gotten if it weren't for this theme. So I really do appreciate what LEGO Dreams has done for adult fans of LEGO, and I hope to see this theme continue. And buying the set on day 1, full price, is basically me sending the message to LEGO, we need more Dreams. Alright, so Shopping Street is the last one that we're gonna temporarily move away. We will come back to this later tonight, or today, depending on time zone you're watching this. But we'll start with the gift with purchase first. And because I bought a lot of Lego today, I actually have more than 1 copy of this set. So I will be giving away a second copy of this set if we reach a certain subscriber threshold, and I'll share that threshold either later tonight or tomorrow, whenever I can basically create a graphic that explains like how this giveaway is going to work this time. I did giveaways in the past for LEGO Star Wars as well as for in August 2025, just a general giveaway. And each time I learn how to do giveaways better and better. One of the problems with the initial giveaways is that either don't have people's contact information and they don't reach out to me, or I reach out to them and they just never answer. So by the way, if you heard from me a long time ago about your giveaway, you might want to get back to me, or actually at some point I introduced a 72-hour limit. So at the very beginning, I forgot to do that. But all that aside, let's get started with the build right here. So I'm actually going to shrink my head even more. The reason for that is because I'm going to be reusing this footage for a future video. So I don't want my head to be in the way of that. So I'll become really, really tiny. And yeah, this way I can cut out that head more easily. That sounded weird, but you get the idea. Just I can get rid of this gap right here. Now, these are analog tools that we're using. Analog tools. This is actual real paper, not an AI thing. All right, are we ready? Let's go. Is the focus good? I think it's good. Let's open the box and see what's inside. Here's a look at the back of the box. Let's open the box and see what's inside. In this set, we got 2 numbered bags, numbered 1 and 2. This sticker sheet right here with 4 stickers on it. These instructions that we will not be using. And I believe for the first time ever, this comes with a QR code, even though it's a gift with purchase. And most of the gifts with purchase in the past did not include a QR code. So maybe this is new for 2026, or maybe LEGO will sell this set as a regular set sometime in the future. Only time will tell. The part list should be available on lego.com, but here it is just for reference. If you notice anything very surprising or interesting, leave a comment in the chat. In this instruction booklet, we got 63 steps over 59 pages, and the set has 243 pieces, so that's within the realm of reasonability. It's not like super simplified like those 4+ or 5+ sets. We do see here like an advertisement for the Lego Builder app, which is pretty usual at this point, but we don't get the 18+ intro to the set with like the set designer and all the stuff like that, because this is a gift with purchase. So with that being said, let's start with bag 1. And I will be using a brick separator to apply the stickers. I don't know if one is included in the set or not. There is one included in the big shopping street set, but I have not opened that set yet, so I'll just use another brick separator when it comes to these stickers in general. All right, let's go. I've already said many times on the channel that I don't like the black block art for these sets. I wish they would do something more colorful, more innovative. Like they did this like for 1 or 2 years, and I think, yeah, we get the idea. But now I think it's time to do something a bit more interesting. Yeah, now this is like the 7th year in a row that we just have like these black boxes that lack all creativity. But yeah, in any case, let's put the minifigures together. You get for sure one minifigure in this bag. Unprinted legs, but that's okay. For a gift with purchase, I'm not gonna say, oh, you need dual molded legs and side printing and so on. We got this for free after all. If they do give us those extras in a gift with purchase, I'm always happy. Or if it's like a super expensive gift with purchase, like then I would say by that, like if the threshold is extremely high, then I would say yeah, give us like all the whistles. This one is like a pretty standard gift with purchase, so I'm not gonna be too greedy. Yeah, this guy looks pretty happy, looks pretty goofy with this hat, but I guess that's part of the part of this set's theme is that everyone is wearing a silly hat. It's a nice idea for a Lego set. Although I don't know why they made this 18 plus. There's nothing about this that's 18 plus or age inappropriate or just something that's interesting to adults and not to younger fans of Lego. In fact, at the Lego store, lots of kids wanted this set. Lots of parents wanted to get this set for the kids, not for themselves. So I just don't get like who is this 18 plus for? And you can't even like go buy the set, so it has nothing to do with marketing because this is not something that they're going to sell on Amazon or Walmart or something like that. So I have no idea why Lego is insisting that this be 18 plus when it does not need to be. If you do work at Lego and or you have like concrete information on why they do that, then please share. But with that being said, let's start the build of the set. I will rely on the front of the box, the back of the box, as well as the 3D view to look at the set from all angles because it's pretty difficult to see the entire thing just from the box, although I do think you could build it just with the box because you do have the front and the back, but you don't have the bottom and many other angles, so it's more challenging to build it with just the box alone. So in the interest of time, I will look at the 3D view as well, but not the specific instruction steps. At this point, we're building the front first. So the front of the box is more helpful. I have an interesting building technique used here for the like pins that connect the wheels. We're using like this Technic pin. All this because Lego does not want to recolor this piece right here to a more reasonable color. So the designer went to a huge extent to do this because I don't see what other reason they would do this other than the fact that they want to have like this particular white color and not the tan and not blue or gray. They wanted it to be white specifically. They're only able to do it like using this piece. So kudos to the designer for this. Like they know that like Lego upper management, they're never going to change their opinion on this. I think Lego should change, honestly, but the designer knows that they're not going to change. If they do, if they will change, it's going to be in the future, not now. So they made lemonade out of lemons. So massive respect to the designer for this. So for those of you who don't know, like they could have like used a different color pin right here, but then it would not look as nice as the white. The designer explicitly chose this piece to get the best color. At least I think that's why they did this. Maybe there's another technical reason, but that's not clear to me. Yeah, definitely an interesting way to do things. These are the rear wheels. I realize now the music is probably not playing. I'm gonna see if I can make it play just to give more of a nice ambiance. The music is playing now, at least. I did not hear it before. Oh, it looks like it is playing. Never mind. It's just pretty quiet from the device that I'm using to check my setup. So I did not hear it. Alright, cool. Level 1 by 4. We don't. We're gonna need one. Or maybe I could do this. Yeah, maybe this is it. Again, for these things, we're going to use process of elimination. If it works, it works. Otherwise, you have to redo it, and that's part of the game here. You have to be willing to accept that sometimes oh, I see. I think I got that. Okay, this actually goes this way. It's pretty unusual to see, like, in a car that goes this way, this piece going like 90 degrees the other way. Not expecting that. But that's the thing with Lego. You have to learn to expect the unexpected. And this is going to eventually attach here, but we have a few more things. We have 1 or 2 levels of plates to attach first. With this here, we can do a bit of work on the other side. You know that the headlights are gonna have like this particular shape. Let's put the pieces out of the way. Okay. It's pretty hard to see like the dark blue on black, but they are there. We're using a lot of these like L pieces. another light gray piece here. Obviously building the front right now. But there's supposed to be these teeth pieces here, but I don't see them yet. So that frees up a bunch of these pieces, and now paying closer attention, you see these pieces here, we need to use these somewhere. Are they visible somewhere in the build? Yes. These go on top of these pieces here. We need to attach other things before we can attach them, but at least we know where to go. That's good. Basically, if we attach this here, we need to fill basically some gray pieces. First of all, white brackets on so now we know that this is wrong. This cannot be the case because this needs to be here. That means you have to undo basically this whole thing. Just like that. So what this means is that this goes like this instead. Come back to that in a moment. These go here, and that gives us the space to have that like right next to it. You'll see what I mean in a moment. These bracket pieces, before we could not attach them because like this L was like this, but now we can. Probably in the instructions, the order of operations is different, so this is going to get a bit more stable, but this is the idea. Okay, so a little bit more tricky than your standard Lego City set, I will admit. Still not 18 plus though. I'll give this maybe like, standard Lego City set would be like 6 plus, I would give this like 8 plus, or maybe 9 plus. That's really pushing it. I think an 8-year-old could easily build this set. And that's with the instructions, of course. Without the instructions, a little bit more challenging, but definitely feasible. Then we see that there's another bracket here. Upon closer inspection, as they say. Then underneath, we can bring these brackets This will help stabilize things. I feel like it makes sense for this to be here, or maybe this to be here. I think it's this. We'll find out in time. Now we're getting closer to linking the two parts together. Are we there yet? Yes. Yeah, so now everything's joined together. We see the idea of the footprint of the car overall. And then through process of elimination, we know that this piece must go here. There's no other piece in this color that fits here. But it has to be this one. Same thing on this side. I do need one of these each for the front. That leaves me one remaining that I could put here. And with that, we can use these bracket pieces and basically close it off. And yeah, that fits perfectly in the grid. But we have a problem because this cannot be here because there's that white piece goes there. So it's gonna have to be something else that fills this 2x2 space. Probably this, because we're not using this anywhere. So if we see like a color that doesn't fit, put it in the place where it's going to be hidden. And eventually, well, you can do this one now. The others will do them once that white piece is in place. Looks like this goes here. No. No, actually. Where's my brick separator? Just looking for my brick separator now. I'll turn on my camera on one side. Find it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna need a brick separator for this. I might need two brick separators for this. Or you know what you could do, you put them like on a big flat surface, big flat studded surface, then peel them off one by one. Like this. The reason for that is that only, so basically we have this piece that goes here. So it has to be this way. There's no other option. This fits. Fine. Here piece, the same piece actually, fit over here. There we go. Now here we'll have a brick. Actually, this type of brick to fill the gap. I'm liking the design of this car more and more. I did like the design just by looking at the box, but now that I'm building it, there's lots of interesting things, lots of attention to detail, lots of cool things that I personally really appreciate. I know this one, by the way, goes here at the front. This one probably goes here. How many more of these do we have? Or how many of these do we need? I think we're done with these, so whichever ones we don't need, we're going to put them here. I still need the blue ones a bit. Oh, I need the white ones. Yeah, I need the white ones here, so it's got to be the blue ones that fill this space here. Actually, if we need to fill it. Actually, if we have a steering wheel here. Yeah, we might not need to fill that space after all. Then here, well, yeah, the driver is going to sit there. So we need something to fill this. It's going to be a 1x4 that's not visible anywhere. We need this at the front, so we cannot be this one. Yeah, I don't know what's going to go here, but we'll find out in due time, very shortly. The thing is, if you can't fill this gap, then you can't put the white pieces on top, so we cannot do anything until we figure this out. That's a bit annoying. But I'm sure we'll find out a solution. We always do. sometimes when I get stuck, I like to sort the pieces just to help me look at the pieces again and then reconsider where does each piece go. Maybe think about a possibility I did not think about before. So through process of elimination, I know that this goes here. I also observe this piece. With like the, I believe, it's just so I don't accidentally use these pieces elsewhere. I know that these pieces are going to go here. Once we're done with the level right below it, I also know that these are going to go here. So maybe you can do process of elimination this way. We build the top, we build the bottom, and then eventually that will isolate the piece that we're missing. This goes here, supposedly. This goes here. So far this is okay because we're always attaching stuff from either the top or the bottom. In the end, we're not doing something that's going to lead to an impossibility where we're leaving a gap. Basically, we're not leaving a gap, so that's why it's okay to do this. Yes, there's a gap between this and this, but we will figure that out eventually. There's a printed piece in the set, this dash. It's quite nice. It goes here. Now we know that these pieces go right here, surrounding it. Actually, this is not quite right. This is not quite right. I do see here from part like right in front of the steering wheel that we have this. And very likely we have this here. Yeah, that's where that goes. This in here. Okay, so we see that we have a distance problem. So these white tiles do not go here. Or plates, sorry, they do not go here, they go somewhere else. We need to think about this a bit more carefully. You know that this in general goes here. Can we attach this? From the rear we can, it's just that from the front we're missing this. We've used up so many of the pieces. Sometimes LEGO does leave gaps in their sets, which I think might be the case here. So what I'll do is I'll try using this piece here. That does also make it easier to disassemble, so maybe this piece is intentionally used here. And then we put this on top. This is basically the driver's seat. And this is empty, and then this goes on top of it. Yeah, if this fits, if this works, then I'll go with this solution. Because LEGO does leave gaps sometimes in their sets. Now we see like there's only one place for this to go, which is here, but remember we tried that and it didn't work. So let's look at this again. Okay, I guess it's a question of elevation. So yes, these do go here. And these don't go here directly. There's something that fills this spot here. I have to guess it would be these pieces because they're the only pieces that are left. Actually, no, these are a bit too long. So we need like 1x2s here, or maybe that's another gap. After all, like this is not visible once this is pressed in. I don't know if that's the official solution, but it works. And now we have these lights here. And we just cover this up. There we go. I ended up not using these pieces in the end. So a bit more challenging than I expected. I underestimated this set. Bag 1 gives us the first silly minifigure and builds the front parts of the car. uses a bunch of interesting building techniques with plates put together in unusual ways, at least by my experience. But it's a bit more involved than your standard LEGO City vehicle. Here's what it looks like from the underside. There's a little bit of technique, not too much, but really figuring out where to put each plate, that was a challenge for this building phase. Yeah, but I do like this. Like, if the build is very, very easy, I can get a little bit bored. So it's nice to have something a bit more challenging to flex my memory a little bit. Let's flip it back to. I've not seen any messages on the chat in a while, so I'm going to go check on the live stream to see, make sure everything is okay. Because you might have sent me messages that I just did not see. So let's just see what's going on here. And I don't see anything in the chat. But maybe people are busy like on a Friday night. So we will continue the build, and I usually allow live stream replays most of the time, unless something happens that prevents that. So people who are not available to watch the live stream now, usually they're able to watch it later, barring any unforeseen circumstances. So let's put the second silly main figure together. In case you're wondering why this live stream is set to subscriber only mode, it's so that I can go through the chats later, the chat history, and take the usernames and enter them into the giveaway. If they're eligible, of course. I will make sure they're eligible before I give anyone any sort of prize. We want to make sure we don't get in trouble for violating regulations or anything like that. So this is dark brown, this is black. This is a very well done burger that we have here. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell the difference between those colors. It's one silly hat indeed. It might be a reference to a future modular building. You might be getting a burger shop next year or the year after. Maybe. Sometimes LEGO does these teasers where they hint at something that's coming. I also know, for example, that the hospital is coming. Allegedly. I don't have any official insider information, but I've heard that the hospital is coming. I'm excited to see how they do that one. Like, what time period is it going to be? Like, what does it look like from the outside and the inside? They could go like a modern hospital route, or they could also go like a classic hospital, like from early 1900s, something like that. So even late 1800s. We've done the town hall, for example, from 1891. So definitely interested to see what they have cooking for us when it comes to that. We do have a sticker, unfortunately. That's the one that goes here. I'll temporarily attach this piece here just to make it easier to apply the sticker. And in this case, the sticker is the same as the set number, 40913. Same number. So I guess this is useful like if you have like this car as part of a collection of many other cars and it's been like a while since you built the set, then you're like, oh yeah, I know the set number for this car. So I guess that's convenient. I also know that now people just use AI to scan something and ask AI to say, oh, hey, what set is this? In the past, like it would be pretty terrible at that, but now I think it's getting better and better. But usually I like to add the wheels at the very end, but here we cannot do that because after adding the wheels, we have these pieces that we add afterwards. So I'll probably leave all that assembly to the very end. Do everything else as much as I can. So a little bit different than usual. In that case, that's a good thing. I like things to be different. I think lots of kids today who got this set unofficially, the parents got it for them, they're going to be pretty happy with it. I'm wondering, like, ever since pictures of the set came out, I'm wondering, did they ever give this woman a hairpiece? It would be really mean if they give her no hairpiece at all, just a silly hat. Like a hairpiece costs like literally like 10 cents, and you're paying like $200 or 260 Canadian to get the set. So they should have thrown in a hairpiece for at least one hairpiece to share between the minifigures, but ideally two hairpieces so that you can take them and put them in your city and they're not always wearing silly hats forever. I mean, I like silly hats, but everything has a time and a place, you know? Or they could have given us like full print, no stickers. Because yeah, you don't really need to print the license plate. I think like they could have skipped this sticker, and then this sign here, the annual Silly Hats Parade. I mean, sure, you could have the sign, or maybe you could just skip the sign altogether. This could have been like one printed piece that they put like somewhere instead of having like a banner like this. But maybe people prefer this. Guess we'll find out. yeah, other than these minor nitpicks, I love this set. I think this set is amazing. Okay. Okay, so now we have the teeth. I guess they put them all in one bag just to make the manufacturing process easier. That's why we did not get them in bag one. If they put them in bag one, all of them, then people will be wondering, oh, why do we have these extra pieces that we don't need? They might throw them away or something. Because, you know, some people actually literally throw away these extra pieces. People are like not very familiar with Lego. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, but if you work in customer service, you will learn to believe these stories. Yeah, I like the way this is shaping up so far. My guess is that, yeah, this here. No, not exactly. Either this or this. Let's do this. This goes here. And these gaps will be covered by something. Okay, we have this here. One, two brackets. That will be another. No, those go on top. Looks like I made a mistake here at the rear. Got to use this piece, so I have to peel off everything and put it on this dark blue piece here. So I'll do that now. At this point, I think I'll do this. Just to have a better reference of this from the back. And as soon as I'm done, I'm going to switch to building this, the sign. The reason for that is just to make sure I don't use those pieces accidentally in the car or vice versa. Basically, this whole thing peeled off. This is just one assembly, so it's not too bad. Then we have this. That feels a bit more solid to me. So yeah, we'll take a small break from working on the car. Let's build these guys. Because otherwise we might use these pieces accidentally in the car. We'll get stuck. Like that. These are meant to be like some sort of modular street compatible thing. We have to apply the stickers at this point, but then we're done with the stickers for tonight, because in the other set there are no stickers at all, none. And because there's 3 stickers here, there's no way to get them perfectly aligned. I'll do my best. Actually, what I'll do is I'll attach the stickers here. I'll attach the tiles here. And I'll apply the stickers to this. So annual. I'm doing it upside down just because it's more convenient, but you could always rotate these, right? I'm doing this as close as possible to the border. And I do wish that LEGO would offer these stickers in multiple languages. Stickers are very cheap to produce. I'm located right now in Canada, so I do expect that LEGO offers like these stickers in English and French and maybe Spanish. They're making the same set for the entire North American market. Yeah, close enough. Close enough. From a distance, definitely doesn't look bad. And then one thing you could do, as shown at the back of the box, you could remove the silly hat. So let's say we're done with silly hats, we're doing something else. You could have just annual parade. So that's pretty nice. Although again, I wish that they printed these pieces or maybe printed just one piece to represent the idea of this instead of these stickers. But I don't know if most people are going to agree with me. Just because I dislike stickers seemingly more than most people. Now, with that being said, we have like a bunch of these lamps. They feel maybe a little bit different than what I'm used to, but I'm not sure. Then instead of the usual minifigure having transparent clear, we're gonna make them a little bit taller. I'm guessing to accommodate various LEGO City vehicles, trucks, and so on. Then we're gonna have something to, not sure what it is, but let's look from the front. Actually, looks like a rounded. Looks like this round right here. I'm guessing that these go here because it's like a hollow stud. That will keep everything together securely. I do think that in the future, LEGO is going to have to introduce lighting kits. Everything has to light up. I think that's the future of the brick building world. Okay, so we were able to figure out this much from the box. Already these are pieces that we're not going to use for the car. So we know that this is not going to go to the car. Obviously, this is the car. These flags also. We know that we're going to use 2 here and then 2 for the car. Check out the battery level. I don't want things to die like last time. Okay. So those are taken care of. Still have a few pieces here. Whoa. Tripod is a bit top heavy. So a few pieces here that we have to still have to work on. So these are the pieces that are going to be put onto the car. There's not that many pieces left, as we can see. It's just basically covering up the rear parts, adding the windshield and the wheels, and I guess adding the sides as well. So speaking of which, that's something we can start to do right now. Of this relatively new piece, like a slope, it's like a curved slope type of piece that curves on multiple axes. Quite a useful piece to have. I don't know if it's new for 2026 or if it existed in 2025 or 2024. And that I'm not sure, like the exact date when it came out, but I know it's relatively new. This is going to be a mirrored build of the other one. Very, very similar. But once the wheels are attached, these go right after. The wheels themselves are ready to go. And my guess is most of the red stuff is for the parade sign, not for the car. Except for these two red flags, we know that they're going to be for the car. We're then going to use the process of elimination to figure out what to put here. We do know that we're going to have this. Also know this. Now we need like a 2x6 to fill that gap. Do we have any more of those L pieces? Well, we have this. We have these from bag 1 that we did not use, but maybe we could use them. We might need to use them actually. 100% sure yet. We have these boat tiles. I forgot what their official name is called, but I know that they're being placed here at the bottom just to help with stability. It's going to make the model even more stable than it already is. Maybe use one or two of these pieces in the car as well, but I'm not sure about that. Let's just attach one of them and see what information does that give us. So we know that we have something that goes like this lengthwise. That's going to help. And for this piece here, if we attach it here, there's basically going to be like a gap. It's not a very big gap. At this point, I think that like since it's not going to be seen at all, I'll just use these pieces from the previous bag. Like they do the job perfectly. And this is gonna get covered up by this. Let's just double check. Yeah, it's gonna get covered up, so you're not gonna see that color in the end. We ended up not needing to use this piece, but we might need it later. Although I have the feeling that we're almost done with the car. Oh, but before I do this, I have to add the wheels. Let's just do the windshield. Okay, now it's just the wheels and this, and we're done. Or wait, the flags. I really like leaving the wheels to the last moment as much as possible. Oh. Maybe there needs to be a piece underneath there. I guess you have to do the flag, then attach it. The friction is much stronger there. Yeah, just don't push down hard on these flags, otherwise you'll have some issues. Now we'll put in these wheels. We'll cover up the ones here at the rear. And there we go, we're done with the car. Pretty sure we're done. I see some pieces left right here, but most of these are extra pieces, like those 1x1 pieces, so it's not a big deal. So I think we're pretty much done. We'll look at the car in a bit once we're done with this. Now I just have a bunch of these bracket pieces. Well, we see here a bunch of these hollow studs. This would mean that we have this here. This has to go here because there's no other place where it could go. And then tiles have to go on top. So that means these go in the middle. It's probably easier to do this separately and then attach once it's done. And we need enough of these to cover all 3 tiles in the case where we're doing the annual silly hats parade. Let's count. 2, 4, 6. So yeah, there's maybe like 1 more than there needs to be. Oh, but that will be handled by the triangle pieces. So we're actually okay. Now we do this. This. After adding the tiles, it becomes a lot more stable. And so now we can do basically, I'll do like the full one, annual silly hats parade. These ones go in the corners. Actually looks quite good. Looks better than what you see on the box, in my opinion, just looking at it after having built it. If I had to nitpick, I would say like it's a bit too narrow, but it's a good for purchase and you get the idea. Oh, and we actually didn't finish the car. We have to attach the rear cushion. Alright, now we're done with the build. So I'll just clean up these pieces here. We'll take a quick look at the build, and then we'll move on to other things. Dispatching some plastic bags to put all the pieces in. You get a few extra pieces in the set. Not a crazy amount, not a very large amount, but I suppose you could always use these in your own custom creations, give them to the minifigures, etc., etc. At some point with AI, LEGO might not need to give us these extra pieces anymore. Like if their systems become very good at giving the exact number of pieces where they don't need to give one more extra piece just in case, at some point their systems might get to that level of precision. And at that point there will be no more extra pieces. But yeah, so let's take a very quick look at the minifigures. I know lots of you like minifigures especially. Let's put them on this perch right here. And actually let me just put them here so that they don't get knocked over. So yeah, here are the minifigures included in the set. We got one male, one female. None of them have hair, instead they have these silly hats. There's printing on the torso, the front, and on the back, but no printing on the legs, no side printing. I do like these minifigures overall. I think this guy is a bit too formal for the silly hat thing, so maybe he's like some manager type of guy, and he's just wearing a silly hat. This minifigure right here feels a lot more casual. So yeah, two good minifigures, and it makes sense to include minifigures in this type of set, although again I wish they had the hair pieces. And while we're here, we can take a look at this sign. We already talked about it, we just built it, so I won't spend too much time on it. Basically, you could make it say Annual Silly Hats Parade or Annual Parade if you prefer, if you're done with the silly hats. The border is meant to evoke the modular street layout with the dark and light gray, and it's raised a little bit to accommodate trucks and other LEGO City vehicles that might pass underneath it. And from the back, it doesn't look too bad either. So yeah, pretty nice and simple side build. It is large in terms of its visual size, so there's not that much pieces, but it feels hefty. And if LEGO were to sell this on its own, they'd probably sell this for like a ridiculous amount, like $20 just for this. Just because it looks like a large volume of stuff. Now for the main part of the set that you're not paying for, because it's a gift with purchase, unless you're getting it on the secondary market, in which case you are paying for it. The minifigures here, they're not exclusive or super special, so really you're paying for the packaging, the box, and the car itself. I do like the way the car is designed. The dark blue looks a lot better to me in person than it looks on camera. So that is something that it's pretty hard to convey to you. But if you know LEGO, if you've seen LEGO dark blue before, you know what this looks like. It's not a new color, it just looks weird from what I can see on my camera. There's lots of subtle angles, not a lot of studs exposed. Actually, there's very few studs exposed. There's one here, there's a few here at the back, a few at the front. But if you look at this from the top, yeah, very few studs exposed on the outside. Very smooth. Like, it really evokes the cars of the mid-1900s. The doors are openable, as we've come to expect, although there's only one passenger that can sit here, so they don't really need the two doors, but I guess it's convenient. If they're parking on the left or on the right, they can always exit on the side of the sidewalk. Yeah, I like the curves, and I have not seen LEGO do this before, where they have like the wheel covered up, the rear wheel covered up, so it's the first time that I've seen this. Yeah, from the bottom it doesn't look too great, but it was not designed to be looked at from the bottom. Even real cars don't look too good from the bottom, so I'm not going to complain about that too much. Let's just keep knocking over this flag. That's a little bit annoying. Yeah, let's put the minifigures inside. And I'm going to let this guy drive this time, because if she's driving with her silly hat, then he's not going to see anything as a passenger. So put in here. Yeah, you could imagine this to be like a father-daughter duo or brother-sister or maybe life partners or just like friends who are like living their best life in Lego City. Yeah, very, very good look right there. They both look super happy in their silly hats. Yeah, it brings joy to my heart at the start of the year. And this is a very good appetizer for the entree of the shopping street that I will start to build very, very soon. But first, I will take a short break for just a few minutes. I'll be back, and at that point, we'll build the shopping street. I am back. Thank you for your patience. Now let's put everything away. Just put these things away and do the shopping street. I'm very excited for that. Ooh, this box is heavy. Whoa. So here it is, the Modular Building Collection Shopping Street. You've seen the box probably online. If you're interested at all, you've probably seen this many times before. Here it is in French and Spanish, just in case you're interested. I'm not going to spend too much time on the box, but here you can see the previous versions of the Modular Building Collection. This from 2023, this from 2025. You can see here that this separates into layers, and interestingly, we have 2 middle floors instead of just 1. So if you buy 2 of them, you can actually have something that's 5 levels high. And here are some scenes from the inside, but most of these are not realistic scenes. Like if you want to see this in real life, you have to like disassemble the set. You see here some LEGO references like the Icon's retro radio from 2024, I believe. That's one possible reference. There might be other references as well. This is a reference to the bookshop, most likely. The propeller piece there. Alright. And they tell you here, oh, the other modulars are not included. So obvious, but it's funny that they have to explicitly write that. And they should write that. They need to do that for legal purposes. Alright. Let's open the box and see what's inside. It's a pretty big box. So this time we have 2 tapes we're going to cut. And before I actually pour out the contents, let's see, is it full? Is it half full? Like, could Lego have made the box smaller? Let's have a look. It's pretty hard to see. Like, trying to give you the best angle possible. So, yeah, they could have made the box a bit shorter than it is. Definitely does not need to be this tall. With that being said, let's pour it out. Ignore the car that we just built. It's an avalanche set. It's going to take a while to sort everything. Please be patient with me. I do see here at least 1 paper bag though, and so basically mixing paper and plastic bags. That's interesting. This will certainly contain the base plate. I'm pretty sure there's no stickers in the set. And then I do know there's approximately 20 something bags in the set. So we'll split them into groups of 10. I will look at the... Yeah, like, there's no good way to do this, but I'll just throw all the bags into like 2 different piles. Part of this is going to be off camera. Then I'm going to put bags 1 through 10 on the table. Actually, I'll do 3 different piles. I'm going to do... Okay, there's 24 bags in this set. Just by looking at the introductory pages of the online instructions, which I will not be using, by the way, like step by step, but just to understand how many bags there are. I know there's 24. 24 divided by 3 is 8, so yeah, I'll do bags 1 to 8 in one pile and so on. So basically the bags that I want to do last are, let me think about this, because I want to minimize the movements of bags all the time, save my time, but also save time for you guys watching the live stream. So, like in the end, I'm going to start with bag 1. I want the bags that are done later to be at the bottom of the piles. But I also need to film them. Basically, I have 2 boxes that I'm using right now for collecting the bags. Okay, I'll just use the 2 boxes for the 2 groups, and then the last group I'll just put it not in any box. Bags 1 through 8, 9 through 16, and the last group. So interestingly enough, we don't get the white box that helps us organize the bags as we did in the previous years. That is also maybe a cost-cutting measure. Maybe if they switch to a completely paper bag, they don't need that anymore, so they got rid of it preemptively. This is going to take a while to build. Might take a week or even longer. This bag 24, the last bag. This one does not have that many pieces at all. I'm guessing they made it 24 bags to make it an advent calendar, because they've been doing this with some of the other modulars, like the DC Arkham Asylum. They intentionally did 24 bags, just so that you can build one for each day of the advent period. But then they released the set in January, when they should have released it in December. Yeah, this could have been a nice advent calendar for this previous December, but oh well. They probably didn't have it ready on time, or they want you to buy the Enterprise and those other sets first, and then in the new year, spend your Christmas money on this set. That's probably the plan. Okay, with that being said, we have bags 1 through 8 here in front of us, so let's sort these. Bag 1 is also pretty small. There are 24 bags in the set. Here are bags 1 through 8. The reason I'm using this voice, by the way, is to use it for the review, because eventually I'll publish a review of this set. So I want to make sure that... Actually, I'll turn off my head for a moment just while doing the bags, so I don't have to do that work afterwards. So give me a moment. There are 24 bags in the set. Here are bags 1 through 8. Now I'll keep the order of the bags because I ordered them. Then I'll make this pile. It has to go somewhere. I have to figure out where to put this pile. We'll put it in a... Put it in this Lego bag. Hello, MC Ottawa. Thank you for joining the live stream. It's great to see you. It was great to see you earlier today. I ended up having around $1,000 worth of sets. I have a YouTube short that shows pretty much all the sets, and also at the very beginning of this live stream, I showed all the sets that I got, so you can rewind to see all of them, but just to give like the most important ones, there's the Ninjago character display. There's one of the Speed Champions, the Ferrari one, new for January 2026. There's the Lego City Cement Mixer. There's also the Lego Dreams, the Tiger Shark Submarine. I believe that's the name of the set. It's very difficult to pronounce. It's like a tongue twister. Snap. I dropped the base plate. No big deal. I can pick it up. It's not going to be broken or anything, and hopefully I just have to go get it. Okay, so here's a white box from another Lego set. They used to include these with the modulars in the past, but not anymore. It's just to organize the bags that put them there temporarily. Now let's sort these bags. Let's go from 9 to 16. Fine. 1, 15. 14, 15, 16. And again, I'll turn off my head for just a moment. So wrong thing. These are bags 9 through 16. And again, now that they're sorted, I'll put them in the box in this order. Will make life easier. Because you'll never have to fit these bags again. One more pile of bags to go. So this one goes 16, 17, 18, 19. And finally, here are bags 17 through 24. With that being said, we can now start with bag number 1. But before we do that, let's mention In this set, we also get this base plate right here. In this set, we also get a bright green base plate, shown right here. 32 by 32. There's no sticker sheet. This is the only time that I'll show you the underside of the set. After it's built, there's no way that I'll show it to you from the bottom. You also got one thick instruction manual. You also got one thick instruction manual shown right here. And I really wish that they included 3 or 4 instruction manuals instead for the people who prefer to use paper instructions. They could have done one per floor. So one for this floor, one for this floor, and so on, so that people could build together as a group without having to use the app. But I'm guessing even on the cover of the instructions, they're telling you go use the app. So the more people use the app, the better it is for their analytics and so on. So I understand why they do it, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. I like the silhouette they have here on the back with the Shopping Street, Natural History Museum, Jazz Club, and Tudor Corner. I built all of those except for the Jazz Club. I do have that set, I just have not built it yet. The part list is now available on lego.com, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it here, but let's take a very quick look at it. There are no new molds in this set, as is customary for the modular buildings. There are exactly 600 steps on 435 pages, and this thing has 3,000 or so pieces, so we're adding about 5 pieces per instruction step, which is better than the 4+ sets at the very least. At the start of the instructions, let's see, is there any interesting information? And by the way, this is again available on lego.com, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So see here from the Lego Icons design team, there's the picture of the set. And some details. You can hit pause if you want to read this now or check it out on the Lego website. And then brick separator start building with the minifigure, who gets the exact same torso as the gift with purchase. Is it the exact same? No, it's not the same. It's similar, but not the same. Okay. Yeah, so a little bit disappointing that we do not see the picture of the designer with his set. I looked at the designer interview for this particular set, and the guy was super passionate to present it to Lego Fan Media in September. So unfortunately, they did not put his picture here like they did with Francois last year. I believe his name is Francois. So I don't know why they did that, and I'm hoping it's because of the designer and not because someone else at LEGO made that decision. But with that being said, we're done with the instructions. We'll never talk about them again, because I'll be building the set without the instructions, referring only to the box, which I have off camera, as well as the 3D view for each building phase. Bag 1, Bag 2, etc. Alright, let's get started. As usual, we start with a minifigure. The face is the same as the other one, so maybe she's the twin of the minifigure that we got in the vintage parade car. plain black legs, no printing. You're charging more and more for these sets, so I think it's time to ask for more and more quality, more details on the minifigures and so on. I used to remember when these things cost like $150 US, 150, or $200 Canadian, not that long ago. In the 2020s, they used to cost that amount. So just, like right before this whole insanity of the pandemic and so on. Then the prices like skyrocketed. And yeah, we went from 200 to 250 and then 270, 290 for some reason, and then 300, and now 350 Canadian. That's, yeah, if at this rate, like these are soon going to be like $500 for modular building. Just adjusting my tripod because it's getting a bit too loose. Yeah, I'm trying to do too many things here. Probably benefit from a larger space, to be honest, but we'll have to make do with what we have. And yeah. I'll just move this over because I don't want to lean too much in one direction. It's not healthy to do that. So I'll be moving this around according to whatever is most convenient for me at any given time. Yeah, it's pretty hard to build on like 32 by 32 because basically where my hands go is where the tripod goes, and it's hard to find a place where I could just like set it and forget it because like yeah, like anyways, I need a better setup. So for those of you who don't know, I usually like to hide the sprue marks, if any. Although now I noticed that this year they're putting a sprue mark here. So there's no sprue mark on this side, no sprue mark on this side. So I'm pretty happy about that. I hope they do this more and more for all the tiles going forward, so that this sprue mark business can be something of the past. That's attention to detail, that's quality that I'd like to see. So if they do this with all the tiles in a set, I'll be very happy about that. I always love tiling off the modular buildings. It's very fun to put the tiles down. So yeah, for these 1x2s, they still have the sprue mark, at least for now. This is drum lacquered silver. I love that color. Here we have a red, meaning there's going to be like something I'm going to put here. I believe it's a fire hydrant. 1x1's also on the spool mark. Yeah, on the edges, you need to make sure that the spool mark is not visible, at least in my opinion. Here, it doesn't matter which way it points. Speck of dust that I just want to get rid of. Oh, and by the way, if you're getting this set, if you're building this set, consider building it on a mills plate, especially if you're going to be transporting the set a lot, or if you have like a very large Lego city. That is not currently my case. But if you are in that situation, or if you're thinking about getting into that situation, definitely go for a mills plate. M-I-L-S. In that case, basically what you're going to do is you're going to build like some bricks and plates on top of this base plate so that the foundation is sturdier and you can lift the whole thing with one hand. Yeah, thank you, McOttawa. I just saw your reply right now. Might be a while before you hear my reply, though. Well, the minifigure does have an accessory. Give that to her right now. You've seen this torso many times before. Lego City, I believe Ninjago as well. You use this for like one of the generic city figures. Ninjago City figures. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure we've seen this torso in a bunch of themes. This, I believe, is the mother of the twins in the set. The twin girls. Here we have this piece in both the light gray as well as the dark gray. Make sure not to get them confused. I believe that these colors are in reference to former modular buildings. This sand blue is probably the pet shop or something like that. whichever building came in sand blue. I think it's a pet shop. And then the green, the olive green, is in reference to the Parisian restaurant and the Natural History Museum, which both share this color. So from my perspective, the ground floor is the most difficult to build just because the base plate always gets in the way. Once you get to the upper floors, it's more flexible. I can move things around a bit more. For the ground floor, we have no choice, basically. Trying to move my own seat a bit closer to the table, minimize the distance my hands have to traverse. Good posture is very important, as they say in Ninjago. I feel like they're really making shows like targeting not just the kids but also the parents who used to watch the show when they were kids, or just parents these days who need to be entertained while the kids are watching. So I like that they do that. Whenever we have like these off-color things, know that we're going to attach something important to this in a future building phase. We've seen this with the Tudor corner, for example, last year, so it's going to be the same thing again here. I love this piece. It allows us to create patterns that we could not before. And these colors are relatively muted, the sand blue and sand green. I wish we still had the sand red as well, because then I could make a sand version of my Versatile Fun Designs channel logo. Yeah, they're muted colors that are very realistic, very mature. Like, it sets the theme apart from something like Lego Friends, and I think older kids would also appreciate this. Not just people who are technically 18 plus, but I've come to accept that this is now their marketing strategy. I know like lots of kids, older kids, who do like the modular buildings, like to collect them, like to build them. They were doing that before the switch to 18 plus, and that has not stopped them. Hello, JustCats2184. thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate that you're here. I hope you got a lot of Lego today, or you're getting it soon if you ordered online. Looking really good so far. Looks like we have a leak, a Lego leak. You know what I'm talking about. This also reminds me of the Ninjago City sets that have like transparent blue tiles on a black or green surface, although they use transparent light blue. This is transparent medium blue, I think. Or transparent dark blue. Not quite sure which. It's the same general idea. And from a distance it looks quite realistic. So basically, you have this flame piece recolored to transparent light blue. We've seen this piece before, it's not new in this color, but I still get it anyway. Now this piece here looks like a pipe has been broken. This is going to be held very securely in place by both the stud here and this clip right here. This is not going anywhere. You can see like the water, you could almost hear the water. Like, I feel like it's an urgent situation. You need to call for help. There will be many bags later until we find out what goes on here. Oh, and by the way, this minifigure also gets an accessory, just one of these walkers. And all these are extra pieces that I'll put to the side. We might use them later if we need to, but I'll try not to use them. And we'll move on to bag 2. I don't know how many bags I'll be able to do tonight, but we'll do as many as I can, and then we'll resume over the weekend. Yeah, building the car, the vintage parade car, I'll bring it in camera in just a moment. Building this car took a little bit longer than expected. It doesn't have that many pieces, but the building techniques involved were like a little bit challenging. That's not a bad thing, it just took a little bit more time than expected, but the result looks superb. And in the past, these used to be included in the modular building, so either at the beginning or the end, you would build these cars, and that's just by default included, but now they made it into a gift with purchase. I'm happy that we still get the vehicles, but I wish that they would just be like a standard thing that like is automatically given all the time, not just as a gift with purchase. And maybe the gift with purchase could be like a limited edition classic space minifigure or something that only adults would care about, or something from Castle or something like that. But anyways, we're done with bag 1. We'll get ready for bag 2. Okay, I need to announce what bag 1 gives us for the review that comes later. I do this for my own convenience mostly. Bag 1 gives us the mother minifigure and starts to tile off the base plate. We also see the water leak, which is central to the story of this particular modular building. That too. In bag 2 and in many other bags, we do have some paper bags inside the plastic bags, which is something LEGO has been telling us about for years, but this is the first time that I've actually seen it in a regular LEGO set, a mix of paper and plastic bags. I've always had either always plastic or always paper, but this is the first time I see a mix of both. And when opening these paper bags, I'll only mention this once. Make sure to empty them completely. Otherwise, you'll have like some pieces that are stuck inside, and you'll call customer service. They'll ask you, "Oh, did you check the bags?" So just make sure you check them, you empty them thoroughly. Yeah, for example, this piece right here, you have to make sure it comes out. Also, don't mix the pieces from this bag with the other one, because they might be similar in color or size, etc. So if the pieces are pre-sorted for you, you don't want to unsort them and make your life more difficult. Unless that's your thing. I know some people, they like to open all the bags at once, then they start building. Yeah, to each their own, I guess. Alright, what do we do now? We're gonna tile off the rest of the building, basically. You could start from this side, go to the other side, or vice versa. Whichever you prefer. I think I'll start from this side just because it's closest to me. There's multiple levels of curves here. You want to make sure that you get the right one. Interesting selection of colors here. We'll see this come into shape as we build it. This is going to be the furniture store, by the way. This reminds me of chocolate. Could sure use some chocolate right now. In fact, I wanted to do a goodbye chocolate. It was one of my Lego BDP submissions, but I was not able to get it done in time because I moved on to other priorities like the awesome space tower, which I'm planning on resubmitting, by the way. Did I do this right? No. Let's go here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Pretty interesting shape right there. Yeah, this red means we're going to attach something on top of it so that it's not going to be visible. That just helps us when we get to that stage. Need to make sure not to mix up where to put the jumpers, etc. Oops. Get her knocked over, right? Okay, so we're pretty much done with this side, except for this small part right here, which we need more information to fill. There's going to be like a bit of furniture here, but it's not entirely clear how this is built, just from what I can see. So I will leave this for later and actually just get rid of these pieces and put them here. Actually, it would be easier if I just rotate it this way. This is a reference to something. It's definitely a reference to something. One of the inhabitants of this modular building is not a minifigure. They're a character, but not a main figure. Now that we have a bit less of these pieces, I'll move them somewhere where it's more convenient. It will be off camera, but it will be in their own separate file. Yeah, this way I won't break my back every time I need one of those small pieces. This, by the way, is a music shop. So many of these 10 tiles. I have another rug or whatever this is. Music shop. You have only a few pieces remaining. I've brought them here just so we can take a look at them. And with these pieces, you have to build some small furniture type thing and put it here. But yeah, with a lot less pieces, it becomes easier to figure this out. And we can already see the footprint of the set overall. I rotated it again, so you see there's like quite a lot of space that appears to be taken by the various buildings, but actually this is a sidewalk. So this is going to be the wall of the building. This is also going to be the wall of the building. That's why it looks like it takes up a lot of space here, but then the actual buildings are quite small. And we have like a respectable backyard right here. So if you want to add stuff to your modular buildings, this is one of the better ones because it gives you enough space here to add your own stuff. Like you could add like a vegetable garden, you could add a flower garden, like a small playground for the kids. You could add your own stuff in here out back, and that's nice. Although you have to supply your own pieces and designs for that. I suppose it's better to have the space and not have the space because at least this building is tall. So yes, the buildings are smaller, but they're taller. So it's good that LEGO gives us variety from year to year. It's not always the exact same like box type of modular. We do get those quite a lot. It's nice to see some changes there. The Jazz Club was on sale until recently. The museum is still available. And a bunch of these recently retired modulars, they've gone up on the aftermarket, but not by too much. So if you really want them, you could still get them at a relatively decent price. Again, relatively. It might also depend on your area of the world. So I now see that this piece is going to be used. We're going to use this for sure. What this is going to end up being, I'm not sure yet. I just know it's going to look something like this. This is going to get attached somewhere here. And then there's red tiles surrounding it, so process of elimination. Once again, this goes here. This goes here, but then there needs to be tiles on this side and this side. Here. And most likely here and here. That leaves us with just the extra parts that are standard, so I'm pretty confident that this is it, or there might be like one or two pieces swapped, but that's pretty much it. There are also these Technic pins that are provided if you're interested in connecting this to other modular buildings, but I'm not going to do that, and even if I do that, I'm not going to use these pins, so I'll just hold on to them for other purposes. Bag 2 finishes tiling off the base plate. We have the furniture store right here as well as the music shop. And we see here the general footprint of this set, including a much larger backyard compared to what we usually get, which could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you see this. Two done, 22 left to go. But the bags are not all the same size or difficulty or complexity. In fact, these are the easier bags. 1 and 2 are the easiest. It's very obvious what's going on here. There's no guessing involved. A little bit of thinking right here, but honestly, it's not that bad. It is now time for bag number 3. Bag numéro 3. bag is ring and not bag. I don't know if they say sachet or sac for these types of bags, or maybe a different term. This one is all plastic. We got another minifigure in this bag, and he looks to be very, very happy. He's probably unaware of the water leak at this point. Maybe he likes chaos. He looks to be dressed in formal attire, but he's probably the furniture shop owner. Yeah, he seems to be way too happy for what is going on, but he probably is not aware yet. Or he's like a radical optimist. I'm sure he gets an accessory. Actually, he gets this 5 currency piece. So at least I make change for the customers. And then these pieces, a lot of people are going to get this set just for these pieces, which are needed for the greengrocer modular from 2008. Yeah, in that set, like, you need to use a lot of these pieces for the texture. They're not interior details, they're actually used in the front facade of the building. But then when the set retired, this piece became very hard to find, as people wanted to part out the greengrocer and not buy it on the aftermarket where it costs like thousands of dollars. So these pieces have also gone up to like $5 a piece. So the designer said that this is the reason why they reintroduced this piece in this color. So it's a return of the element after a long time. I really appreciate that the designer did that. That's even more the shame that they did not add his picture and give him like credit by name at the front of the instruction manual. I think he really deserved it. Maybe he didn't want to. Maybe it was his decision, but I have my doubts on that. In bag 3, we'll be building part of the wall. So maybe I'll actually do that part first and just build it in the air and then just get rid of these pieces and that'll give me a bit more breathing room. Maybe I'll do the obvious, easy stuff first. I remember when I was a kid, sand green was used for dinosaurs. I had like this dinosaur that I rebuilt on the channel like a while ago. So I always associate this color with that dinosaur set from a long time ago. eventually this becomes unsustainable, but for just like one side of one wall, I think you could do it. I think after this we would need to have like the other side of the wall, so we'll come back to that. But at least we absorb these pieces into there. That's less pieces to worry about. We have an interesting construction for the podium or cash register of the music shop. Looks like there's a jacket involved somehow. I'm not seeing it yet. Well, we'll come back to that, I guess. The stairs are done in an interesting technique. Now, they always innovate when it comes to the stairs. There was a time at the very beginning of the modular building series, back when it was called that and not the modular building collection, where sometimes I would use like the standard Lego stair piece. But then as time went on, they stopped doing that, and then every designer comes up with new designs for the stairs that are completely different from everything else. And well, there you go. There's the bracket I was looking for. Very interesting stairs designs. I really like the one in the Natural History Museum. It's built like a diagonal. I remember like seeing that for the first time. I was like, wow, wow, how did he even think of that? This color is probably a reference to the Boutique Hotel from 2022, also recently retired. With the Tudor corner and now this set both having elements similar to the Boutique Hotel, I'm guessing they decided they did not need it anymore on the shelves. I do think that the more recent sets, or even they look even better than the boutique hotel. They're more polished, but I still think the boutique hotel did a lot of things right, and I still plan on building that set without the instructions also when the time is right. You see, this is like one layer of the stairs, just one stair, I guess. And oh, I made a mistake. But thankfully one that's not too difficult to fix. I need to use like this bracket piece here in order to attach some stuff on the side. And unfortunately, these brackets are in the black color. Tile, actually. Then this. Yeah, like these should have been sand green. And Lego has, or they used to have an equivalent piece to it a while ago, but they discontinued it. So I'm actually planning on replacing this with sand green in the future. And once that order arrives, I'll swap it out and show you the results. Maybe I'll do that for the final review, depending on when my order arrives. Okay, so that's one stair. Of the stairs, we have like three more, but like they're smaller in size. This is like a landing as well, or mezzanine, depending on what you want to call it. Now we'll do the stair right underneath this one, top one for this building phase. Black tile. I don't know why they have this black stud there. Maybe there's a good reason for it, but it's not entirely clear to me just from looking at that. You might find out in a future building phase. wonder what this is going to be. Okay, so we're building some subcomponents here just to reduce the number of pieces that we have to figure out overall. And actually, because of the limitations of the software that I'm using, I have to finish this in like about half an hour max. Whether I'm done with the bag or not, I have to finish this live stream. So we'll try to finish up at least bag 3 for tonight. So because we're going to be working primarily on this side, I'll switch to it. Bring it closer to me. Actually, this should go here. This goes there, by the way. I think we could start to touch the green wall, the sand green wall. Wish there were more windows here just to let in light. But fully around and thought that this kind of looks like layers of a cake. pistachio flavored, something like that. Maybe mint. Not this piece. Don't mistake this piece for just a regular 1x2, which I assume we do get in the set as well. Right? If not, then I'll use one of these, but I don't have to use them because they're too precious, too valuable. I don't see a regular, so it looks like it's going to be this. The designer is giving us this piece just to increase the supply of it on the market. That's as far as we can go. At this point, we have the stairs that go right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 for the stairs. Yeah, this one we can attach. And that's it for this particular building phase. We are starting to get to the point where we have to do a little bit of diagonal work right here. But yeah, the more pieces you remove, the easier it is to do this work, because we have less things that could possibly go wrong. Now here you have a 1x6 attaches to this piece here. We have 1x1 here. So we basically have to like rotate this around until we find like the angle at which it connects to the piece underneath. So quite an advanced technique. Looks like this is going to attach here. Let's see it correctly. Yeah. That's definitely an advanced technique. Is this right? I think. Yeah, one more. These here. Actually, the stairs go here. It's going to basically be the stairs and these two on top. I'm not going to attach this now, but basically these are going to go here in the near future. Hopefully on camera. I'll try to do as much as possible before the deadline happens. Looks like there's this piece here. Yeah, doing this diagonal is not going to be easy. There's not that many pieces left, but this is the most challenging part of the build. Actually, the stairs might be less challenging now that we put the individual stair components together. Maybe it's worth looking at the stairs. And we can plug this here while we're at it. And the two studs there for the minifigure to stand. So that's good for posability. So stairs. Now let's see if we can add the stairs, or do we need more things to do? But I believe that this should work. Yeah, that works. That works. Fits perfectly. Very good song. That works as well. This is going to attach on both sides, here and here. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. The stairs. Once you have the components, you get the idea, and they just like fall into place very nicely. So the only thing we have left is figuring out this diagonal. So there's going to be, this piece will definitely go there. I also know this is going to be important. It's too long to be at the ground level, so it's going to be one level up. So now this goes here. There's just something we need to figure out that goes underneath it. I believe it's this diagonal piece right here. So that it fits here without causing a problem. Yes. I believe 1 by 2. We have this, but we can't attach it yet because that would create a gap. Unless this is the... I'm going to guess that this is the solution. This is called guess and check. You do this in math, you can also do this one with Lego. Actually, I don't think this is the solution. This is at what level? This all goes on the inside, not the outside. This piece here. Yeah, as I look at this more, I'm seeing things I did not notice previously. That might work. sure. And right now I'm getting dangerously close to the deadline of my streaming software, so I do have to wrap up the live stream right here. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. And if you wrote something in the chat, that means you're subscribed already. If you didn't, well, now's your chance to subscribe so you can participate in the future live chats and potentially win a prize. Who knows? So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.